I think one of the most frustrating thing for being a violinist is having dictated to the shape of your body. So let's say you have really short fingers or really long fingers. Sometimes that can be very frustrating, and you think, "Oh, this is not the instrument for me." Um, when I grew up playing violin, I was tiny. My fingers were super small, the size of Kraft dinner noodles, and now they're really big. So it's something that I had to just you know just work with. The vibrato changed as I get older, and so did my my reach for certain things. But on the other hand, I've come to think that it's actually really not great having long fingers. So I have fingers I can play. I think it's like a 13th on a piano, so a pretty good spread from pinky tip to thumb tip. But uh, the only thing that matters for violin playing, I think, is having healthy fingers. Obviously, like being able to move them quickly. But I'm of the belief that if you have pretty even length fingertips, so especially between the middle finger and the pinky, that's best. So I have a very long middle finger, and my pinky is relatively short. And I think this is the worst case scenario because what happens is when you try to do running thirds, which running thirds, if you don't know, you're basically going between 1 and 3 and 2 and 4, and you'll see that the shortest and the longest here are paired up in order to play. So what you have to do is contort your body in order to have sort of even distance between your pinky and your middle finger. And your middle finger is basically causing trouble because um, it's a if you can think of a bridge, you want sort of a shallow uh, bridge, not a violin bridge, but rather a bridge on the horizon. If you have equal length fingertips, or if equal length finger lengths, you'll have sort of the ideal is like a very shallow heel bridge. And if you have a large middle finger and a short pinky, you have a very high pitched bridge, and that's what you don't want. And I love the violin so much I don't really care. So I'm gonna sort of deal with that anyways. So I sometimes have to finger passages that have running thirds a little differently. I'll tend to do 1 3 1 3 1 3 1 3 all the way through. If it's an exercise, I stay away from them. They're just too uncomfortable. But to sort of illustrate, uh, when I was living in New York, there was a school that had a signed program from when Paganini played some concert, and he'd signed the program, Piccolo Paganini, and he had this little insignia that was just a G G G G octave. So that's what it was written out as. It was triple clef, 5 lines, and then just a small run up and down. So he was sort of illustrating, hey, I have a large span, so here it is. It is pretty large, and I remember thinking, as much as that's something that he sort of was promoting, that he has a very large span. His flexibility, I think, is really what was astounding because if you look through his Paganini 24 caprices, there are some moments where, yes, the stretches are crazy, but the way you can bunch his fingertips at the bottom and then also spread a finger or two, such as Paganini it's number 6. It's the one with the trills. That one. There's some moments where you're you're barring a finger at the very low end of the instrument, but you're also just kind of trilling away at the upper end of the instrument. So the spread isn't that much, but the amount of the amount of dexterity you had in order to stay small, stay sort of contorted here, but also be up at the instrument was quite amazing. If I ever write a piece, I won't do that to myself. It'll be sort of showcasing some of my strengths, which is I have a big extension, so I can actually one up Paganini. I'm sure he has a very long reach, but I can one up Paganini by playing an uh, A flat, quadruple octave. So takes a little bit to get it going there, but yeah. So it is nice to have long fingers for certain things, but like I was saying, if you look at your hands and you're a violinist, pay attention to length of your pinky relative to your middle finger, and if you have a pretty even length of fingers, then you're in really good shape. Also, you should be happy if you have really thin fingers. I know that sort of promotes uh, a certain tone, but like maybe a bony tone versus a fat tone. But I think you should be very happy if you have pencil thin fingers, equal length, and you should be very happy. And of course, if you love playing violin as much as I do, no matter what your shape is in your hand, you're gonna just deal with what you got and work with what you have. That's it for me.